interesting things happening in the world of content creator golfers, internet golfers, internet invitational, live duels, creator classics, all happening like back to back to back. It's exciting. And we're going to talk a little bit about that and something that I think might be happening that could be the reason for you seeing who you're seeing in these particular events and who's really winning. This episode is brought to us by our good friends here at Volvik. They have a number of new balls out. I've tried and played with the Condor X and the Condor, both really their highest performing golf ball, and Condor X 4-piece golf ball, urethane cover, performs incredibly well. I really like it. And then the Condor 3-piece construction, equally as good, just depending on what your preferences are. Discount code in the video description below. Click the link, use the code. Here's what you do. Buy 3 dozen, get the 4th dozen for free. So all you have to do is put in your basket 4 dozen and then insert the code. It will decrease the price and give you credit for one of those dozen. Don't put in 3 and think 4 will show up at your door. That won't happen. You have to put in 4 and they credit you for one of those. So good deal. A lot of discounts and things like that on my newsletter, which we send out frequently. So be sure to sign up for that as well. Link in the video description for that. Thanks for subscribing to the podcast channel. Let's get back to our episode. Who's winning right now? Who's got the upper hand when it comes to content creation and the numbers? PGA Tour, LIV Golf, or the new players, which we don't necessarily have numbers on yet, but we will soon, and we will be able to see what's happening. Let's just dig into what we've seen recently. LIV Golf Chicago, the FedEx St. Jude playoff first round. So we've got numbers for these, and so that's what we want to look at. LIV Golf on Sunday got 334,000 viewers, average viewers. So that's a good number to kind of keep in mind as we go. 33% of those viewers were 18 to 34-year-olds. So that's fantastic, right? They are trying to get a younger audience. A large portion of them were. The PGA Tour, however, St. Jude Classic, Sunday numbers on NBC, 3.6 million viewers. So 10x what LIV gets. I mean, who's winning? Well, yeah, I mean, obviously they're winning in views on broadcast. Here's the challenge and something also to look at. Let's look at the PGA Tour. What are they getting? Who's watching is really critical. We always hear this. The average age of the viewer of the PGA Tour is 64 years old. And that's true. So the average age is 64. But what do you think the number one age group, like the highest percentage, is watching the PGA Tour? Any guesses? What do you think it is? 19% of the PGA views come. That's the highest percentage from this age demographic. Drum roll? No drum roll? What do you think it is? Just think about it. Is it 25 to 34, 34 to 40, 35 to 44, 45 to 54? Like which of those is it? Or is it 65 plus? 19% of the viewers that watch the PGA Tour on Sunday, of that 3.6, was 25 to 34-year-olds. What? So now I ask myself this question. Why is the average age so high when nearly 20% is so young? I guess the only real kind of common sense way to figure that out is, man, there must be a lot or a good amount of like really old, whatever that equals for you, 100-year-old. Every 100-year-old dude is watching PGA Tour. So they're kind of skewing the numbers up. Let's just go kind of that route. And if you think about this, let's just compare the coveted view. That's kind of the viewer they're really going after, that younger audience, because it could potentially give them longevity in the sport. You pull them in, then they're going to watch when they're older, and that's what you want. You want them to be watching when they become the next really demographic, 44 to 55 and 55 to 64, because those are your buying years where you're going to buy the expensive stuff, the cars, the things from the sponsors that support the PGA Tour. So you want to capture them and then keep them while they're going to spend their money. But if you just take that 19% of those viewers, 19% of that 3.6 million is 684,000. So it's already, just that percentage doubles the total views of LIV Golf broadcast. So not only is the PGA Tour winning, they're winning by 10x or double. I mean, just that demographic is crushing it. So what's the problem? What's the problem with this? Why is not LIV capturing the viewers? So here are my thoughts, and I want yours as well. Put it in the video description why you think they're not getting the views. All right, so some think it's political. Okay, that's going to be some of it. The format, the music, it's geared toward that younger audience, and their largest percentage comes from that younger audience, and then even like a pretty good percentage is even younger. So they're getting that younger viewer. Here's the problem that I see. They play Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and the younger viewers, that audience, that's their time to golf. So they're out actually golfing when LIV is on. Whereas the PGA Tour audience, the older ones are golfing during the week, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday potentially, and then they take the weekend off because that's when the golf courses get most crowded, and they're like, I don't want to play. So they're retired, about to be retired. They have more flexibility in their schedule. They can, work when they feel like working or adjust their schedule to fit their lifestyle. So they're going to golf when the golf courses are less crowded. And younger people who are just kind of getting going, they're going to golf when they're free, the weekends. So that's why they're not necessarily watching broadcast golf. However, then that leads us to YouTube golf. That's where that younger audience really watches a ton. So we have currently going on as we speak, the Internet Invitational at Big Cedar Lodge, put on by Barstool and LivDS Sports. And they have 48 of the content creators and some sports people and some friends or sidekicks of certain people involved in that. And it remains to be seen how that's going to be received. I would imagine because it's the first time they've done it, it's going to be met with a lot of excitement. And then we're going to be able to kind of respond and report on it as we go. Here's some interesting tidbits from what I've heard. Each creator can film, right? There's media rights that are to Barstool, LivDS Sports. So Grant Horvat is playing. He didn't play in the Barracuda Championship because he couldn't film his round. He can't film, what I've heard is he can't film here either, but yet he's playing here. So maybe there's something he can film. Maybe it's not as restrictive as the PGA Tour. That remains to be seen. But what I've heard is that you can't film. That's going to be reserved over for Barstool and LivDS Sports. And there might be some side content they can create outside of the main event. That remains to be seen from everybody. But regardless, we're not going to probably see any content until the main content is released. So that remains to be seen. Let me know your thoughts on how you think that might play out, how it will be received. It's a lot of creators. It's 48. I don't know how you put a video tournament together and give everybody equal airtime, which they're not going to have. But how do you include everybody in that? It's going to be a challenge. So it's going to be interesting to see how they pull that off. Contrary to that, we have probably the number one format currently is the LIV Golf Duels, and we're about to see Chicago get released. I'm going to guess Chicago LIV Duels is going to be released next week, the same week as the next Creator Classic at East Lake, where that's going to air on Wednesday, the week of the Tour Championship, just like it did its inaugural run last year. Now we have the second annual East Lake Creator Classic. Yours truly went to the qualifier a couple weeks ago, had a great time. We played the same format that they're going to be playing, and it was a lot of fun. I kind of, messed up in the playoff. I'm tied for low round of the 8 holes we played, and then the final playoff hole, I rinsed it in the water, and I was sent packing, basically. So it was a lot of fun regardless. It was a good time. So it's going to be interesting to see how that stacks up with the Internet Invitational, which is to be released. We don't know when. I'm guessing LIV Duels is going to try to infringe upon the week of the Tour Championship and the Creator Classic, but they may wait a week. Remains to be seen. That's going to air, I believe, on Phil Mickelson's High Flyers channel, and it's a skins game. And we're going to have our normal players in there. They teased us as a special guest. I don't know if that's actually going to happen or not. We'll see soon. Those get a ton of views, millions and millions of views. Creator Classic does fairly well, not quite as well as LIV Duels, but I would imagine that's going to do pretty well. They don't necessarily do it YouTube style. They air it live as, on the PGA Tour YouTube channel, and that's its own thing. It does pretty well. They change the format a few times. We'll see how that pans out, but it does get a lot of views, and it's interesting because those who watch YouTube golf are okay with watching that content after it happens through the week, here and there. Hit it, watch a little bit, put it on pause, come back the next day. Live broadcast is totally different. That audience will watch it live. You're not going to watch a rerun. So it's catch it or it's gone. So it's kind of wild that the LIV Duels videos get so many millions of views, yet their broadcast gets 300 and some thousand views on Sunday. So currently, LIV Golf is a great YouTube channel and an entity to create YouTube content, which they're dominating in that area. PGA Tour is the #1 entity for creating live broadcast golf, top level, pro level golf. And then Barstool, Bob to Sports, we don't know, but they're getting into the picture with this $1 million event. Okay, last thing about this whole deal is this. People have been asking me, what do you think about these different creators that are invited to play? And why do they get invited and not others? Why? Here's something to think about. Let's say you are the #1 YouTube golf channel in the world. All right. Let's say you just have 3 million subscribers or something like that. Whatever, right? It's highly likely that maybe you have a company behind you helping you. Let's say they own a percentage of your company, of your channel. Let's say they own 30% of you, whatever, and they've kind of boosted you. This is totally normal in the world of business. You partner up with a company. They give you access and resources and marketing. They're like your marketing arm, and they bring in other creators as well and, set up collaboration opportunities. Totally legit, totally normal. Happens all the time in the world of business. So let's just say you're that creator and you've given 30% of your company away and they've helped you become the #1 channel on the platform. Well, would you, if you were said creator, also want to do the exact same thing? You keep your tentacles kind of percolated to new and upcoming potential creators that you think have potential. And you tell them, hey, I will give you opportunity. I will collaborate with you. I'll introduce you to these people. I will bring you into these opportunity events and let you be a part of that. In return, you give me a piece of your channel. I'm an owner, right? It's like an agent. You're the agent. And so if you're that top creator or top creators, right, then you might also want to do the exact same thing. Back in the day, when YouTube was earlier in its inception, there were these companies, and they were MCNs, multi-channel networks. And what they did was they would bring in just everybody. I would get emails from the beginning, just, we want you in, and we'll give you music. They really wouldn't give you much, but they would collect all these YouTubers, and it sounded good on paper. And their top ones that really kind of broke out and did better than the rest, they would help them more than everybody else, but they would still collect a piece from everybody. These MCN companies would sell later on. I knew a guy sold his MCN for $3-something billion. They were very, very valuable because they were a collection of YouTubers under their umbrella. Disney bought a company. They bought Maker Studio in the $1 billion price tag because Maker Studio did the exact same thing. And so then Disney cleaned it up, and they made it like a marketing arm for Disney. And then let's say a cupcake channel. Now you're making Disney-inspired cupcakes because you're under the Disney, let's say MCN now, but they would just kind of rebrand it to be something different. So why wouldn't top golf YouTubers with millions of subscribers or millions of views, like the top of the top, why wouldn't they also start doing the same thing to create a residual income for themselves as they grow? They create that pyramid of people underneath them. I don't want to say it's a pyramid anything, but it's a multi-channel network with certain entities on top. So think about that. That could be the reason why we see certain creators being invited to certain events, because they are in the fold, let's say, of the people in charge or that have a lot of clout and authority in the space. Nothing wrong with that. But if we were wondering why they're in and they're not in, that could be and is potentially the reason why. So as we move forward, I'm always curious about that kind of stuff and want to share it with you and get your thoughts and opinions on that. So thank you so much for leaving your comments in the comment section. I read them, and people read those, so keep them coming. Thanks for watching. Good luck out there. We'll see you soon.